Tell them how great your morning has been. Swear to you that... Good morning, girlies. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sammy. I am an online fitness coach who helps women build a body and a confidence that they feel super proud of, and I'm so happy that you're here. I wanted to take you all on a couple of days in my life. As per usual, I love carrying my little cam around and just taking you through kind of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, what my training looks like, what my eating looks like, and just like the thoughts that I'm having, basically to like document everything and hopefully inspire or empower at least one person. So I'm currently sitting in my car. It is 7:15 in the morning, cold. March in Calgary is no joke. Like, it snows one day and is so cold, and then the next day it feels like it's summer. So currently cold this morning and snowing, but we are here bright and early because we have some cardio to get done. And I'm not gonna lie, I was so comfy cozy in my bed this morning. I did not want to get up. I did not want to wake up because I was just so warm. I was like, oh, I could just go back to sleep. Like, it was so early. I felt really tired. I didn't sleep like the greatest last night. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with this one specific thing. And it is like getting up and doing something hard first thing in the morning is challenging, of course. Like, it's so much easier to just like hit the snooze button, roll back over, go to sleep for another 20 minutes rather than get up and, go to the gym and go do cardio. Like, I'm about to go do 700 calories on the stairs, and it is like the last thing that I want to do. However, I have the identity grained in myself that I am the type of woman who follows through with what she says she's gonna do, and I refuse to be inconsistent with myself. So when my alarm goes off and I do not want to get up, I have to actively remind myself of that every single time that it happens, because the reality is, like, I would not be getting where I want to go physically with my goals, or even just like mentally, if I did not challenge the beliefs that were already in my head, right? I was actually just listening to a podcast on the way here. If you don't listen to podcasts, by the way, when you drive, you are like losing out on so much valuable time of your brain, like getting wired with just positive, messaging and just like good things, whether that's related to like self-help or health or business or whatever like you're doing in your life. You can be filling your time when you're in the car with so much better quality information rather than just like music. No shade to music. Like, I love a good drive with the music, but I have been starting to listen to podcasts when I drive, and I feel like it's just helping me so much with my mentality, how I think, how I can reframe things. And anyways, I was listening to this podcast, and it was from the Mindset Mentor, and he was talking about how from the age of 7 years old is when your brain starts to basically create a narrative that you teach it of who you are or who you think that you are. So basically, from the age of 7 all the way up until wherever you're at right now, you have been teaching your brain who you think you are based off of like the proof that you're giving it. And it just is a testament to show like how powerful you actually are, and how the words you speak to yourself and out loud and to the universe like really, really matter. Your brain has 3 jobs every single day, and that is to filter your reality, to interpret your reality, and then predict your reality, which means that every single day your brain is taking little bits of evidence from what you say, what you think, what you do, and then using it, interpreting that, and then using it as evidence to basically predict what is going to happen, which means that everything you think and you do predicts and interprets and like shows your reality. Like, your brain is literally always looking for proof and then creating your reality around that proof. So for example, like if you were to say that you are inconsistent, you are someone who just like cannot stay on track, you are always inconsistent, you're always falling off, you cannot follow through, your brain is going to take that as your truth and like the actual reality of what is happening, and then create a reality in front of you that shows that and that proves that. So every single time that you're reinforcing that belief in your head, you're going to start acting in alignment with that belief, and then your results are going to also act in alignment with that belief. And your brain is always going to interpret that belief as a command, because it doesn't know right from wrong. It doesn't know what is actually accurate. It's only taking the information that it has from you and then predicting your reality based off of that. So if I was to, let's say, roll over this morning and, go back to sleep, I am now creating proof for my brain that I don't follow through on my word and that I am inconsistent because I can't follow what I said I was going to do, which is come to the gym this morning and get my cardio done. So if you are constantly saying to yourself, I'm not confident, I can't follow through, I'm not consistent, I can't stick to anything, then that is the reason why you have been stuck in a cycle. If you start catching your second thought, like you can't control your very first thought that you have, that will just come from whatever. But you can control your second thought. So for example, my first thought this morning was, I just want to roll over in bed and go back to sleep. I'm so comfortable, so warm. My second thought was, you are not inconsistent. You are not someone who does not follow through with what they say you're supposed to do, and you do the hard things in the morning. So get up, girl, let's go. And I chose to believe that second thought, not the first one, right? And eventually over time, as you can catch that second thought and reframe it as something that you actually want to believe, the quicker it becomes your first thought more often. Not to say that those thoughts won't come up eventually or every once in a while, because it obviously still does, even for me. It's all about just your choice and what you choose to do and what thought you choose to actually believe and follow through with. And then the more proof and the more evidence that you can create for your brain that you are someone who is consistent, that you are someone who follows through, the more your brain is going to start to believe that, use it as evidence, and then create that reality around you. So let's go get this cardio done. Enough yapping. And let's crush the day. Let's slay the day. Okay, I just made my meal 3 for the day, which is 2 rice cakes with tuna, guacamole, and hot sauce kind of mashed together, separated between the two, and then just some mixed veggies. I love this meal. I truly am obsessed with it. It's become my new hyperfixation on my non-training days. My carbs are a little bit lower because my coach has me doing carb cycling, where I eat more carbs on the day that I'm training compared to the days that I'm not training, because I want to use the carbs for the energy for the workout and to push the intensity with the workout. And on the days I'm not working out, I don't need them as much. So we're using this kind of carb cycling approach to hopefully help my body respond even quicker and more dramatically before the wedding is actually happening. And I've noticed a big change in my physique already from doing this. But he did cut the carbs a little bit lower than they were in general. And so I've definitely noticed a bit of a difference in just my hunger levels and my excitement getting to eat this meal with the rice cakes. But I was just thinking about this as I was making my meal for today, about tracking food and how so many women talk to me about how they hate tracking food because it's felt restrictive for them in the past, or it feels obsessive and feels oh my gosh, I don't like an app telling me exactly how much I'm supposed to be eating, or I only have 200 calories left and I'm starving. And so many times I tell them I went through the exact same thing, where I downloaded my Fitness Pal, a couple of years ago, and I set the calories as low as they possibly could go, because that's what I thought I needed to do if I wanted to see a difference in my physique and a difference in my body, lose a little bit of fat, build some muscle, what have you. And so naturally, when you are only eating, or an app is telling you to only eat 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories a day, it's going to feel restrictive. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so what I always tell my clients is that if you're eating, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, 2,000 plus calories every single day, and that is your deficit, that will not feel restrictive at all, because there's so much to work with. And another thing that a lot of people tell me is oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do this. I don't like pulling out a scale that seems really I don't know, intense, too intense for me. That's too bodybuilder-esque. And my response to that is that if you want to see a specific result you need to be very specific with the actions that you're taking in order to get that specific result. And one of the hills that I will absolutely die on is tracking your food in order to see a physique change, whether that is fat loss or even muscle building. Nutrition is truly like 90% of the results that you get. I tell my clients that all the time, and I try to remind myself of that all the time as well. Like, you can't out-train a bad diet. No matter how many times you go to the gym a week and how hard you push, it doesn't matter unless your nutrition actually matches that intensity and the two are kind of working closely together. So if you want to see a specific result, for example, you want to lose 20 pounds, you need to track your food. Like, there's just no way around it, because you need to know how many calories you're eating, but then you also need to know the macros, like how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat, and then use that as data to make adjustments, tweak things. You know, if something's not working, if you're not seeing results, if your body's not changing and you're following your plan 100%, then yeah, we would need to change the amount of carbs that you're eating or the amount of protein or whatever it might be, maybe changing the calories, etc. But like I said, in order to get a specific result, you do have to be very hyper specific on the actions that you're taking. And one of those things is tracking food. So first things first, it's not going to feel restrictive if you are actually eating and fueling your body properly, even in a deficit. And then second thing is, take the time in the morning, if you are macro tracking, let's say, and pre-log everything in your phone. I used to do this all the time when I was macro tracking. Right now I'm just following a meal plan, so I actually don't log anything because I'm just following the meal plan exactly as it is, which tells me how much calories and macros I have. But when I was macro tracking and just like kind of building out my own macro plan and you know, kind of switching things up here and there and switching up what I was actually eating every single day, the best way that I could do it to like take as much time out of my day as I could was just pre-logging everything. So in the morning I would go in and I would put everything I wanted to eat for that day in my tracker so that I didn't have to think about it again. I knew exactly what the game plan was for the day and whether or not I was going to hit my protein, my carbs, and my fat, so that by the end of the day I wasn't like 50 grams short of protein and scrambling and eating like a chicken breast at 9 p.m. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. If you have that steady plan of like, I know exactly what the structure is, I know exactly where I'm going to get these numbers from, then that's all you have to do once a day. It's like, you don't have to go in every second meal and like input it for 10 minutes. It's already taken care of. So anyways, little hacks for you, little tips and tricks, but I'm going to eat this meal and get back to work. So see you soon. Good morning, girlies. We have made it to the gym. We are doing a glutes and quad, like leg day specific today. Right now I'm running 3 days of like lower body and 2 days of upper body, with a couple of upper body exercises trickled into the lower body like workouts, because one of my main goals is to like get my arms really looking so good for the wedding, which we're officially like 67 or 66 days out. I've like actually kind of lost count, but it's getting to the like nitty gritty. So anyways, we are starting off with leg extensions here. So let's get into it. We're on set 3 right now. We're doing 15 reps of a heavy weight, and then we are drop setting the last 3 and 4 sets with 14 to 16 reps with a lower weight. So contracting up 1 second, slow and controlled, 2 seconds down. Really targeting those quads. 60. Oh, gosh. Whew. Yeah, if you're not making ugly faces, you're not lifting heavy enough, my girl. Okay, on to the next exercise. We are doing hip thrusts, but we're doing a 1-2-1 variation of hip thrusts. So basically you do a full range of motion hip thrust on the way up, come halfway down, push back up to full extension, and then all the way down to the bottom. So basically you're doing a hip thrust, a calf glute bridge, and then like an end of a hip thrust essentially. But it has like honestly helped my glutes grow so much. It is absolutely killer. The first time I tried to do like my regular weight with my hip thrusts, and I could not do it. So I really had to dial back the weight, but it's like so good for mind muscle connection, and the pump that I get off of this is absolutely insane. Getting into it here, we thrust all the way up, halfway down,
all the way back up, all the way back down. That is 1 rep. We're doing 15. And something that I've really done that's helped me a lot is instead of thrusting the weight up super aggressively, I actually just control it a little bit more. And I've noticed a big difference in how much I feel it in my glutes versus my quads. Oh my gosh. Girlies, I just had to show you my outfit because I feel so cute in it today. These flares are the unified flares from Honor Active in the color like rosewood. And then this is the everyday bandeau. You can do literally anything in this thing and it does not fall off. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, just so cute. I am so obsessed. Okay, next exercise, we are doing our single leg bench RDLs. So grab yourself a bench and a heavy dumbbell and your wrist straps because you're gonna need them. If you're like me and you have really weak grip strength, but you wanna challenge your legs a little bit, highly recommend getting lifting straps. I've had these ones for 3 years and they have done me so many wonders on like being able to actually lift heavy before my weak grip strength completely gives out. One knee goes on the bench, your non-working leg. No weight at all on it. All your weight should be in your working leg. Thinking immediately about sending your hips to the back wall, hinging and naturally coming forward, keeping a bend in that knee, coming back up nice and strong. Gaze stays forward the whole time. Don't feel like you need to look at yourself in the mirror on this. Second last exercise here, we have sumo deadlifts, deficit sumo deadlifts, I should be specific here. So I grabbed 2 45-pound plates to create a little bit of a deficit, just to create more of a stretch in my glutes and like a further range of motion. Girls, I have been doing the same workouts I have actually lost count, but it's been more than since November. So December, January, February, March, almost 5 months, and they haven't changed. They've like tweaked a little bit, but nothing major has changed as far as like the compound lifts that I'm doing. And it's so important to remember that like consistency and repetition is a good thing. And that's actually how you progress. That's actually how you get stronger. If you are changing up your workouts every couple of weeks or every month even, your body isn't going to have enough time to actually adapt to the stimulus and adapt to the progression, right? You just got to keep doing the same thing. I know it's boring, but it works. Final exercise and we are out of here, girlies. We are doing cable kickbacks, which I freaking love these things. Kicking straight back, squeezing at the top, slow and controlled on the way back in, holding on to the cable machine, not for dear life, just for stability. Controlling this movement. We did it. Now we have to go do 400 calories on the stair climber. Good morning, girlies. I just finished my morning routine. I have been doing the same thing every single morning for the last probably like 4 or 5 months now. I'm a big believer that your morning routine should flow and it should ebb and it should give you exactly what you need in the current season of life that you're in. Sometimes my morning routine is like really quick and easy. I just like get up, get dressed, have my pre-workout, go to the gym because that's what I feel like I really need to set myself up for success during the day. Sometimes I will stretch, sometimes I will meditate, sometimes I'll listen to affirmations, but right now what is really working well for me is number one, starting the morning routine kind of the night before. So I lay out all of my clothes ready to go for the next day, my gym clothes, so that I can just get in them, get ready to go. And I don't have to like have a decision to make in the morning of like what to wear to the gym. And I'm more likely to actually just go to the gym when I have my workout clothes already on. So I'm in my workout clothes, I laid them out the night before. Then I come downstairs and I get my little homemade electrolyte drink that you guys saw me make. So it's just a little bit of orange juice, like water, 500 milliliters of water, little bit of orange juice just for some flavor, a little bit of lime juice. Sometimes I'll use lemon juice depending on what we have, and then a quarter teaspoon of salt. So making my own little electrolyte drink to rehydrate my body and kind of like wake me up in the morning. I'll drink this before I have my coffee before we go to the gym, and then I come over to my couch area and I turn on a little YouTube video with like a tropical background I love, turn on the fireplace just for the ambiance and for the vibes, and I'll sit on the couch and I will journal. So I've been journaling and doing gratitude practice first, so just writing down like 5 things that I'm super grateful for in this specific moment, and then I'll just journal kind of my thoughts out. So what I've been thinking about, maybe if I'm struggling with something, just getting my thoughts like basically out of my mind onto paper really helps me just like set the tone for the day. That is what a morning routine should do, is set you up for success, to almost prime your brain to look for the positives, to, you know, have a good outlook on kind of like your day. If you spend your first 20 minutes of your morning scrolling on Instagram, comparing your life to others, looking at what other people are doing, maybe opening your work email and looking at a whole bunch of different things that happened that night. I used to be so bad for this. When I worked at Earl as a general manager, the first thing I would do would literally turn over and immediately just grab my phone in my bed, and I would like look at my emails because I was super worried that I missed something or felt kind of anxious that something happened overnight, that, you know, a person emailed me saying this and that and I'd have to deal with it. So I'd immediately start my day in like a fight or flight mode, and it kind of trickled into the rest of my day, where I was grumpy, maybe a little more moody, kind of looking for the negatives and being like, well, see, this sucks because X, Y, and Z, whatever. I would also drink coffee first thing in the morning without having like a sip of water or hydrating my body. And I noticed a big difference when I started drinking water first, just to allow my body first and foremost to wake up, hydrate, right? And then get into the coffee in a little bit. Like we're gonna have one in probably 30 minutes. I usually like to wait about an hour after I wake up until I have my first coffee, to allow my body just to kind of gain energy without it first, and then use it as almost like a pre-workout. So anyways, just gonna finish up journaling here, and then do a little bit of work before we head to the gym. I'm gonna get my coffee in a second here and just chill, answer some client messages. And basically today is gonna look pretty much exactly like yesterday. Head to the gym, do some client work. It's also client check-in day today, so got lots to do today. But I'm gonna end the vlog here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, love ya, bye.